as one of the newest quick looks up on the site, Super Mario Strikers. Mr. Grubb, you and Dan played some football with each other.
Football.
So like,
Yeah, we got the feet out and we kicked the ball around. It was a good time. I think I mostly like this game. It's very similar to the recent Mario sports titles, light on content, but the game itself, the gameplay, the mechanics are all really solid, really well done, I think. We went from, Dan kind of having just like barely started the game, and then by the end of the quick look, he is kind of keeping up and getting goals, and you guys could watch and kind of see how that ends for yourself in the quick look. But it was you could tell he went over the arc of like, okay, I'm not sure. It doesn't seem like there's a lot to this game. But by the end, when he was able to have fun with it, it's like, okay, it clicked into place. And that was a matter of like 30 minutes. And I think that's what most people are going to end up doing. Be like, oh, I am not sure. And then once you get, the few mechanics down that are there of, there's two different types of passes. You can lob it. You can kick it on the ground. There is a dodge move in case someone's coming to slide tackle you, and you could slide tackle, but then you could charge up your slide tackle to do a more powerful one, but that has a risk reward attached to it. So if you miss that slide tackle, your character's going to wipe out and be unavailable for a couple seconds, and that gives the other team a chance to score. And everything sort of has it all pieces together like that, just like Mario Tennis did in its gameplay and its mechanics. The question's going to come down to $60. Are you playing with a group of friends? Do you have couch co-op possibilities in your life? If so, again, just like those other Mario sports games, it's going to be a great party game. It's going to really nail that stuff for you, no problem. But if you are by yourself, I can't imagine it being worth it. Like that, it's definitely the kind of thing. Like if you're by yourself or you have people in your life who aren't sure if they're going to enjoy it, it would have been like an ideal rental. I guess maybe you can go to a Redbox or something in your life. Yeah. GameFly, I guess. But otherwise, but if you do have people in your life, you have a Discord and you want to start one of these leagues in this game, that's what we're going to do next in my Discord. We're going to try to get the Battle League part of this game going and see if that's something. But otherwise, if you're by yourself, that's the big question mark of I don't know if it really justifies itself to that audience. For the party game audience, for the people playing online, I think it's kind of doing everything it needs to do for me anyhow.
Yeah, it seems light on single player stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, other than the quick matches that I saw and then just playing against someone else, I think that was it, right?
There's the cup. So there's the cup modes where you can play against the AI in a tournament, and then it goes, you just go through each tournament, and the tournaments are named different things, but they all play basically the same. What's changing is the teams are getting a little bit more difficult that you play against, and they use more of the gear, and we could talk about the gear in a second, but sure. They use more of the gear, so now they have slightly different abilities, and they definitely play more aggressive and stuff like that. But it's nothing. There's nothing substantial to it all. It's like, we talk about the pantheon, the sort of tier list of Mario sports games, and at the top in that S tier, it always goes back to Mario Golf for Game Boy Color having a full RPG, and then Mario Golf Advance and Mario Tennis having a full RPG in it for the handhelds. And it's like, okay, well, that's a robust full thing that is this real RPG with you're playing as a character and you're building up these skills and you're going through and you're doing all this other stuff. But then later we get stuff that's like, okay, we're going to kind of do a half-sized version of that for these Switch games, where it's like, okay, yeah, Mario Tennis has a campaign, but it's kind of, there's not much to it. And the Mario Golf game has a campaign.
It was real. It was real bad.
Please.
It was real bad.
It's an extended tutorial, right? That's all it is.
I kind of can't believe that, I know they've done the math, right? And they've run the numbers. I kind of can't believe that, in the specific case of games like this, where it's a $60 game and you want to just do the thing of I just want to play a game of soccer. I just don't understand how there is not this other version of this game that they would absolutely sell way more of, right? If you were to tell me the $40 version that sort of just waters it down, I don't know. I feel like that needle has not moved in 3 decades.
These games tend to sell pretty well still, and so Nintendo is very much thinking about both sides of the equation of okay, how much can we sell, but also how much are we spending to make these games? And they like to make the one line really big and the other line really small.
And they also have
you know,
that kind of like policy of never devalue your own properties, which is why we, everyone talks about it, but like it really goes a long way. It's why they can make a game that feels quite thin like this, put it out at full price, and it still sell gangbusters. They have that kind of. They're one of the few companies that has the cachet and the clout around their characters to pull that off. Like, and as long as people keep buying them, they're going to carry on doing that.
It's gonna sell to families, and that audience we always undervalue and we don't really like pay attention. And then we look up and Super Mario Party has sold 16 million copies.
We're like, there's no families.
Yeah. But like they're buying so many video games, especially like during the pandemic. But even before that game was selling super well. So I think that for me though, the way I really think about this game is the way I think about Mario Strikers for the GameCube now. Where it's like, okay, at the time, I sort of ignored that game because, it was light on content, and I'm mostly playing by myself. That was like the period like after high school and people going in different ways in their lives. So I didn't have people coming over every day, like during the N64 days. So I'm like, I guess I'm probably not going to pick this up. And now I go back to it today, and like, I don't care that it's light on content. I like that when I load it up on Dolphin or whatever, and we play net play with like a friend somewhere else, that it's a super fun, mechanically like really precise game. And all of that stuff carries forward to this. It's just like once you start doing that arithmetic of the price to the the price to fun ratio, then that's where the conversation happens. But years down the line, people are going to remember this game very fondly for how well it plays.
Cool.
Yeah, I gotta say it doesn't start well in how it positions you to kind of go through the tutorial, and the
tutorial's rough.
Pacing is a bit rough.
And you need it though, because there's very specific stuff happening in the game where you're like, if you just try to hop in, you're like, man, I am just getting my butt kicked here. What am I missing? And it's like, okay, you got to learn to use the dodge, and you have to learn to like be very judicious with your sprint and stuff like that. It's so you need that tutorial too, I think.
Yeah. Once I started firing up a game, I hit the AI to be random, and it was just, of course, the team captain wound up being Waluigi, and then that team stomped me into the ground. It's definitely got its little swagger to it after you score a goal and everything. My biggest problem though is I play Switch games generally always in handheld mode. And everyone's so tiny.
Yeah.
Why are they so little? God damn.
It's a soccer game. They clearly are like, where is the balance of like, where do we put the camera versus how much like do we want it to feel like you're watching a big sprawling soccer match? I mean, they try to make up for that. And next level, like you mentioned, the swagger. Next level speciality is their animation. I mean, Luigi's Mansion 3 is the last game they made, and that is like one of the best looking games ever because of its incredible animation. Yeah. So they like, okay, so you scored a goal. We're going to bring the camera. Yeah, ever. I mean, I think it's gorgeous. Yeah. You bring the camera in, we're going to look up super close to these characters as they express themselves in really, and again, in ways that we've never seen these characters express themselves before because it's next level. I mean, they also did like Punch Out for the Wii, which is another incredible looking game just because of its animation. So yeah, it's a good team.
I got to also add, there were moments in that game where I thought like, wow, Princess Peach. Whew. Anyway.
Yeah, we do think that sometimes, don't we?
Yeah, I definitely thought that.
Dan does. Okay.
Wait. Just to clarify, so it's absolutely clear. Are you thirsting after Princess Peach?
That's what it sounds
she
like.
Kicked up? Okay.
I thought that's what was implied. I didn't think.
Okay, cool. I want to make sure, like, because there's also the opportunity to be like, oh, she's a great character, top tier.
Oh,
but
yeah,
we're definitely talking about the
Geeks. Without saying though, you don't even need to say that. So if we do that, it is very much about the posterior area. That's been a thing with these games as well. Daisy from Super Mario Strikers. Like, there's always these like old wives' tales about like, oh, maybe Miyamoto got really mad because they made Daisy way too sexual in this game, and she would like show off her little booty shorts or something. So he got mad and said, you can't make characters look this way anymore. But this series has a history of okay. Yeah.
I mean, look at Donkey Kong in his shorts. Ooh,
yes,
eyes on that boy.
I think it's the complete opposite. I think Miyamoto's in there being like, yes,
he's the one coding it himself.
Yeah. He's like, he's just like moving the slider on yeeks all the way to the right.
It happens in anime when like guys get horny, like the glasses like fog over. Or whatever.
And his glasses fog over and nosebleeds, and he's like launched across the room.
That's why we never see him with glasses. It's because they're always fogging up.
They've always been blown off his face. Yeah.
I got to be careful. I always want to make that joke, but that's like an onion joke or a heart. One of the the other one where Miyamoto says a delayed orgasm is good eventually, but a bad orgasm is bad forever. Like, yeah.
I mean, is he wrong?
All right, Grub, what about the gear stuff? You talked about gear.
It's dumb. I don't like it. It's kind of like, so you have these characters that have all these different abilities, and of course, like Rosalina is really good at shooting, right? So you have gear, and the gear is basically the same sets for each character, but you're picking from like one of like 5 sets, and they have +2 points for one stat and -2 for another stat. So no matter what, you're going to have a give and take. So the thing is, you can either make Rosalina play more like other characters on one side, or you can min-max her and just max out her shooting skills. So now she goes from a good shooter. Yes, exactly. But you could Ben Hansen her so that she goes from being a good shooter to an incredible shooter. And it's okay. So I'm just going to do that. That's the thing that makes the most sense. And so what you end up with is these characters that are kind of like caked over with all this like stuff that just kind of looks lame. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not into it. I'm not down.
It is the epitome of that sketch of like, I have too much shit on me.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. I don't want to be here anymore.
Well, like in life, like alive anymore? Like, is that?
It's I mean, it definitely looks that way when you're like Toad, like covered in like he's got this Cyclops visor on. I'm like, okay,
with his head shape. They're squeezing that poor boy's head.
Oh.
I think okay. Sir 5000 has here harddrive.net. I'm sorry, I couldn't remember. Shigeru Miyamoto delays orgasm for quality purposes. That's the great headline.
He just wants to take care of you. He just wants to take
a
care
lot
of
of
you.
bangers
Good man. Yeah.
Grub, anything else on Super Mario Strikers?
I don't know. I saw some people on the Reddit starting a battle league. So if anybody's like playing in the community, maybe join that up. If you are going to get this game, try to join the battle league. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. It's still in the preseason. My Discord's going to be doing it this Friday. Maybe I'll report back and say if that's like, maybe that's game changing. Maybe that's something huge. But otherwise, kind of go into this knowing what to expect, which continues to be these are party games. And if that sounds good to you, pick it up.
Yeah,
I would like to see a weekly column from Jeff Grubb about hot video game characters called Grub One Out.